wanna take you for a ride. I 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 wanna take you for
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Random Encounter Podcast. I'm your host, James, and I'm joined by Jesse
What up, boys?
and Mike.
What up?
We're back again with episode 2, Rebirth of the podcast. Like last time, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this content, and we'll continue. So we got a couple things that we're going to highlight today. A bunch of gaming news, such as, are there too many popular handhelds out there, or are handhelds actually being more popular? And as well as some delays in gaming news, and some games that might reappear after a delay. And another one is a demo that came out last week. So without further ado, let's start off with this gaming news and the delayed games. Hogwarts Legacy was actually delayed from holiday 2022 to February 10th, 2023. What do you guys think about that? Were you guys looking forward to Hogwarts Legacy?
Yeah, but I don't mind. I don't mind a delayed game as long as it's good, man. I'll wait forever if it's good. But if you give me like a Cyberpunk after hyping it up for like almost a decade, that's not okay. So any delayed games, I never get mad. Like you go on Reddit and everything, and everyone's always like pissed off. But honestly, give people time to make a good product. You know what I mean? Like Rome wasn't built in a day. So it's I'll wait for forever if it's good, because I'm gonna be more upset waiting and then it'd be bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What about you,
And
Jesse?
you see, with me, I never liked Harry Potter, so I was going past on this game regardless. It looked good. Don't get me wrong. It looks stunning. It's just I grew out of Harry Potter. It was a weird transition for me. It's when Harry Potter was starting to get really popular, it was the end of elementary school for me, going into middle school.
Yeah.
So it was I was already not caring about that, and plus I was a Lord of the Rings kid anyways. So that was my trilogy. I understand there's a big fan
all
base,
day,
and
bro. Yeah.
but I'll watch some videos. I'm not going to diss it just yet. See if it's actually cool before I pick it up.
Yeah, same. I've never been a Harry Potter fan. The game I think it would just be cool, like an open world, wizard, kind of deal. I've never read the books. I've only seen half the movies. You know what I mean? But the concept was pretty dope. You know what I mean? I liked
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I'm with you with that on Jesse. I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan myself. My first introduction to the books was actually my third grade teacher reading it to us, and that was when was it the first book, Sorcerer's Stone, when that first came out. So that was my first introduction to that world, and I did read the first 4 books. I had the
Oh, okay.
fifth book. I just wasn't I didn't care about it, and I just never saw the movies. I don't know. I'm still kind of interested because I would like to see, and give it a chance because it does look pretty interesting. But the delay doesn't bother me. Kind of like Mike says, usually a delay game could be a better game. Sometimes they're not, right? You got Duke Nukem Forever, right? But it
That's a
it
different story, man.
so it varies, right? So I mean, we'll see. There's still plenty of games to play between now and then. But yeah, but that wasn't the only game that was delayed. Marvel Midnight Sun was also delayed. That was one that I was actually more interested in, mainly because it is a tactical RPG. And as you know, in last podcast we were talking about it. I love tactical RPGs. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Honestly, with this one being a big Marvel fan, as you can see with the shirt, um, like it's okay for this one to be sitting on the burner. Um, the gameplay footage we seen was kind of bare bones and kind of basic. Some of the animations did look a little off during those gameplay footages. So sitting it back, even
Didn't they
if it's
implement a
till
card
next year.
system that everyone hated? I haven't really kept up with it. But apparently
Yeah,
they put a card system that nobody really likes, so I think they're taking that out now. That's the reason for the delay.
that's possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I think what was it too? Like Disney's having their big game event for Marvel here soon, so we
Yeah.
might
September
hear.
9th, I think. Yeah.
I think we might hear some news about it. But if they already said that, hey, look, it's going to be delayed, and really didn't give us enough reason as to why it was delayed, I don't see it being like on their show floor or showcase.
Yeah.
Um, because they didn't even really go into details on what this event is. If it's just like, oh, here's 5 games we're showing, or 5 games we're announcing and have no gameplay, or if it's going to be
Kingdom
like,
Hearts 4.
Yeah.
or
Like, yeah.
or if
That would
it's
be
going to
nice.
just be, well,
Right.
they said from what I was reading, it was just going to be mostly Marvel. Was
Yeah.
their like big dip into it that they were going to just announce a whole bunch of Marvel games and what properties and stuff like that for the Marvel universe. So who knows? I mean, with Midnight Suns, it looks great. It's just if it needs time to develop, give it time.
Yeah. I guess we'll wait
Can't
and
pick a
see what
cake out too
happens.
early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see
Like,
what happens with that. Hopefully they'll have some good information coming out in September. You said September, right? That's when the event is?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's
September
September
9th.
9th.
Yeah, so hopefully they'll have some good information September 9th. But on the flip side, there was a game that was delayed indefinitely, which was Advance Wars Reboot Camp. Unfortunately, it was delayed due to the war happening between, in Ukraine. Um, but there was a little bit of information, a little bit of hope that it might be releasing soon. So, according to a source, it looks like that online on the Nintendo eShop, it was actually updated. And why would you update a game that's delayed indefinitely, right? Was anybody else
Like
looking
Right.
forward to
Q2.
Advance Wars?
Yeah, bro. Like, I really was, man. That I get why they did it, but at the same time, like the game's finished. You could have released it by now because it was supposed to be out already.
Yeah,
So I don't know why they keep like playing with us.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you do this. I feel like it's Nintendo, man. They're just teasing us. I have a love-hate like relationship with them. I
Well,
hate them 90% of the time, and I love them 10% of the time. You know what I mean?
Well,
well,
what was weird about it too was like Nintendo went out and said, "Hey, look, we're not like populating or sending games into Russia," where they were just like blocking the eShop, all that for a time being. Like this game could have easily came out by now. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm super
Yep.
excited for it. But they announced, hey, look, like we're not going to service Russia at this time game-wise, but hey, look, we're going to take this game, put it on the shelf, and kind of not give it to the rest of the world, which is,
It doesn't make
weird.
sense.
yeah. I mean, I think it's out of respect of what's happening, right? And fun fact: I actually never played the original Advance Wars. That was just one of those games I didn't have that I never got. I was more of the Fire Emblem, even though they're the same team. I just preferred Fire Emblem, but Advance Wars always had catch my eye. But I think out of respect to the audience and what's going on right now, I think they just think that it might offend some people because according to what I've heard, the story basis at the beginning is basically a warring nation is invading another nation next to it and trying to take over, which is similar events that are happening right now. So I don't blame Nintendo on delaying
Yeah.
it. But at the same time, it's like I hope we get it by the end of the year because it is something that I want to experience. And I've held off on playing any type of Advanced Wars until I play the reboot camp. Also, they have a cool online multiplayer mode, which I'm definitely going to be into because I would like to play other people in tactics battles, which I think is pretty cool.
You won't beat me.
we'll, we'll, we'll have to
You can
test
try.
that out, man. We'll have to test that out. Hey, if you can beat Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn in normal mode without dying once, then okay, then I'll say I can't beat you. But
Yeah.
I'm,
I'll try it. I've never done it. I'll let you know. I'll let you
I'm
know.
telling you, by the third mission, you're already dying like nonstop because of
Yeah.
stupidity. But let's not turn this to another Fire Emblem podcast. There is one other thing that I want to talk about in gaming news. The Dealfield Chronicles demo released last week. That is another game that I was, believe we mentioned in the last podcast, and it is a game that I've been looking forward to a lot. It looks like it's a spiritual successor to Final Fantasy Tactics, and I've had the chance to play the demo. I know you played the demo, Mike. What about you, Jesse? Did you play the demo at all?
I have it downloaded, just haven't touched it yet. I'm hoping to after the podcast actually dig my like fingers into it. I mean, I do have it downloaded on both Xbox, PlayStation, as well as PC
Yeah.
to kind of see what the performance is on like all three of them and kind of go from there.
Yeah. Uh, I'll start it off then, and then I'll go to you, Mike. But like, I'm really digging it. I actually really enjoyed it. I didn't know how much I was gonna like it
Good.
because it looked more RTSy, which it is, than tactics based. But it does have a little bit of both in there. I did play it on Switch, and I played it on the Steam Deck. Switch on TV mode struggles to hit 30. In handheld, it does it fine. On Steam Deck, of course, runs perfectly fine. I'm running it at 40 frames per second, but it runs perfectly fine on there. But I do like what they have going there. The RTS battles are pretty fun. It's almost like a mixture of Final Fantasy Tactics meets Halo Wars, because it's very reminiscent. Especially the controls are very reminiscent to Halo Wars.
Like a
But
comparison.
yeah, because it's like
Yeah.
it's very reminiscent to Halo Wars. Like if you look at the
Yeah.
mission structures and things like that, they're very reminiscent. The only thing is it doesn't have like the troop building and the base building or anything like that Halo Wars has. Instead, it has
Yeah.
like what Final Fantasy Tactics does, where you have a set team that you go with, and they each of those team members have skills, but everything's in real time. So it's a good mixture of both. But I've played through all the missions, and I'm still not yet done with the demo, and I've done like four, I think, missions. And I'm liking it so far. What about you, Mike?
So it was good. I wasn't really expecting anything from it, if that says anything.
Yeah,
I played on the PS5.
yeah,
'Cause I was playing Horizon Forbidden West. I'm trying to beat it. That game's so tedious sometimes. But so I just downloaded it real quick just to, because I knew we were talking about it tonight, and I gave it a shot, and I really liked it. But you can tell that game is super underfunded. Like the cutscenes started coming up, and I'm like, "Yo, is this my PS2, bro?" Like, I'm like, "What is going on right now?" And but I don't care about graphics, but it's pretty good. But you can tell it's like it's one of those short games. I don't think it's gonna be like super super long. The gameplay is really good. The story is very JRPG like trope. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like you save a
Yeah.
damsel in distress and they end up being important. You know what I mean? Like and all this kind of like stuff. But we'll see. You know
What?
what I mean? Like if you're into JRPGs, you know what you're getting into, and if you like tactics, you know what I mean? Like it's a really good tactics game because you have like each character has their own assigned abilities, and then once you kill enough people, then you get like a little like medallion that like offers like a big like attack. Like they have, the first one is what, Baphomet or something like that. Like
Yeah, Bahamut. Yeah.
but yeah. So like so we'll see. Like right now I'm not expecting anything, you know what I mean? Like but I think it's gonna be good.
What mission did you get up to?
So I beat the first mission. I walked around um the
Like the
little
base
what
area?
the base area
Yeah.
thing, and I talked to a few people because I wanted to get a feel for the story, and then I had to do something, so I stopped playing.
So I'll tell you this, it gets a lot better after that. You
Yeah,
do have a boss battle that's later on, and that boss battle was actually pretty tough. That was the first time that I had like one of my characters die. But you can revive them, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it gets
so
to
they
the
use
point.
Phoenix Down.
No, you
Yeah,
just run up to the character and they
yeah,
revive. But it was actually the one battle where I was actually like, oh man, like there's so much going on that the bosses are using special moves. You have to move your characters away so they're not in like the attack
attack zone.
area. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
that one really gets you moving. You have to stun certain attacks because there's certain attacks that basically he does like a huge area effect, and you're more than likely not going to be able to move everybody out in time. So your best bet is to stun them. And you get a bunch of different skills. You get different people. You keep upgrading. So it
I
gets
like this
really
so
into
far.
it. Yeah. No,
That game comes out what, September 20th or something like that.
yeah, I believe
Looked
it's
it up
September
earlier. Like
20th. Yeah.
yeah,
I forgot it's 20th or 22nd, something like that. But I know it's something I'm highly looking forward to. I can't wait. I think you'll like it, Jesse. I think you will
Okay.
definitely
I
enjoy
think
it.
if you like tactics, you'll definitely like that game.
Yeah.
The gameplay was really good, but you're gonna laugh once you see the graphics, dude.
Oh,
Like, I
okay.
swear,
One of
dude. Like,
those.
it's so.
Yeah, it's a weird like, and they're using. It looks like they're using like the in-engine graphics, maybe
Okay.
because like the characters like when they're like the little small thing, like it's. I guess that's what they have, but they blow it up for the cutscenes,
Yo,
and it
I
does
swear
look
to
a lot
God,
Oh,
dude.
better.
okay.
I swear to
Okay.
God, the cutscenes look like a PS1 JRPG like cutscene. You know
Ooh,
what I mean?
maybe it's the style they're going for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean, maybe.
it could be artistic
I think they're
style.
just underfunded. Like,
Yeah,
honestly.
I'm definitely hyped to actually try it out after like the podcast, kind of dig my teeth into it and kind of see.
No, I'll highly recommend it. I think it's definitely the game. Probably one of my most anticipated games now. I would say because I can't
Oh,
off the top of my head.
nice.
I can't think
Is
of
it full
anything else.
price?
I believe it is. I think it's $60, not 70,
Uh,
but $60.
I, I could look it up real quick because I have it downloaded real fast because I know there's a collector's edition that came out or is coming out for it.
Well,
Yeah,
I
there
got
is.
GameFly, so regardless, like since I'm PS5, I'm probably gonna cop. Is there a physical copy or no? Is it
Yeah,
just
there's a
Yeah,
digital?
physical copy.
there's a
Yeah,
physical.
yeah,
It's $169 for the collector set, and the
that's not bad.
standard edition is retailed 60.
Yeah,
That's for both PS4, PS5,
basically all
Xbox, and
consoles
Series
or
X.
all platforms.
See,
So
And I
that's why
think
I'm not gonna
PS4
buy
and
it right
Switch as
away,
well.
cause like I don't want to spend $60 on a game that's like meant to be 40. You know what I mean? Like I feel
yeah.
like a lot of people are doing that nowadays.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll see. Because if it's a pretty long game, then it might be worth the 60, right? Like to me,
Yeah, 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 for sure.
yeah, the value. Like if it has the same value as Fire Emblem Three Houses, then I think it'd be worth 60. But I mean, Fire Emblem Three Houses, I have like 120 hours in it, and you have three playthroughs you can go to, and then of course you have the DLC as well. So I guess that is a
Oh,
little bit
trust me, I
of
get
a
it.
story.
I would have paid like $200 for Elden Ring. You know what I mean? If I
Yeah.
knew what I was getting into, dude. Like, cause I have like
Exactly.
400 hours in that thing, dude. Like, yeah.
So before we go into our main topic, what have you guys been playing? Let's start off with you, Mike.
I'm still trying to be Horizon Forbidden West, man. Like, honestly, like I was having fun with it, but now I feel like it's like a chore.
Yeah.
It's like you know how open world games are. You know what I mean? Like it's fun at first, like you're getting all like this new stuff, and then like eventually you're just like, I want this to be over because I want to
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah.
You know, but other than that too, like Destroy All Humans was on sale on Steam, and since I have the Steam Deck, I've been playing Destroy All Humans
Oh,
because it's like a
nice.
good like
Nice.
wind down like game. Have y'all ever played that?
I've never played
Oh
it.
yeah,
No.
back in
Oh,
the day.
it's amazing. Pretty much you're just an alien that goes around and just literally kills all humans and like
Yeah.
destroys everything. Like so,
Yeah,
it's pretty fun.
I think I remember seeing the old X Play reviews back on G4 about it, and they
Yeah,
liked it. So,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
and if you have Game Pass, it's on Game Pass the remaster actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the
Oh,
remaster
okay.
is on Game Pass, and I think two is going to be on Game Pass here soon.
Oh, that's what's up. I need to get Game Pass working on my Steam Deck. Like that's the only thing. But I also started I got what is it like Live a Lie or Live a
oh
Life or
yeah,
I don't even know how
I
to
think it's
say it.
pronounced Live
Live
Alive.
Alive,
No, it's Live.
Live
Yeah,
Alive,
Yeah, it's Live Alive.
Live Alive
Live
or
Alive.
yeah. I started playing that and that one's I love the 2D 3D animation, so that one's been pretty good too. Like I'm not even I just started playing it last night, so I'm not even through one chapter yet, but
Uh,
so far so good.
I'll tell you what, I still think the best game that's going to utilize those graphics, the HD 2D graphics, is going to be the new Dragon Quest remake whenever that comes out. Because I'm super hyped for that. The Dragon Quest 3 remake.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's supposed to come out what next year?
They don't have a release date. They just announced that
Per
they're
se?
working on it. That's about it. But I
Or
Oh
am I
yeah, that
thinking of the Japanese exclusive Dragon Quest Online for PlayStation, only in Japan?
yeah, I know that's coming out in
well,
Japan. But the HD 2D, the like, if you ever watched the trailer to Dragon Quest 3 remake, I'm not sure if you saw it, Mike. Uh, but I think that's going to utilize it the best, in my opinion. But I guess we'll see. We gotta wait for the
I
game to
think
come out.
I think I think more people are going to start using it, and I'm
Yeah.
like super stoked about it. You know, because I love those graphics, and I wish they would make like remake like all the Final Fantasies like that instead of like the
Yes.
pixel
Yeah,
like instead of the
I was
pixel ones. I wish they would have done it like HD, 2D, 3D, or whatever it's called. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I was gonna say
I
the
feel
same
like that would
thing.
have been dope.
The,
Yeah,
that's free money right there.
so
That's
yeah,
like,
man.
in Final
You're
Fantasy
printing money at that
six,
point.
there are a couple scenes in Final Fantasy six that are actually shot or well shot. They're made in HD 2D. So when those scenes pop up, you can tell the difference in graphics. You're like, why did he just use that engine for the whole game? Like it makes no sense. But yeah, if you ever play the Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster, you'll get to those points, and you'll see when they're HD 2D. You're like, come on, like you should have just kept that all the way through.
It's man, Square Enix is so weird lately, bro, because it's like they're not really giving these like old school games a big budget. They're trying to monetize like the new gotcha games and stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
I mean that's
Final Fantasy. I mean, Square Enix is kind of like one of those things where like they don't really care about JRPGs no more. They want like Avengers and stuff like that.
well. Don't forget,
You know?
Square did sell Eidos Montreal. Who else?
They still like
They sold basically all
all
Yeah.
IDOS.
their West
For
Coast
NFTs,
developers.
dude.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
and
just for NFT stuff, and I'm just like, and then like a week later, NFTs started like dropping, and I'm like, thank God, dude. Like they deserve that.
but I mean, we'll see. I think Square, in my opinion at least, I think Square is doing better now because they do have a lot of good games that they're bringing back. You know, you got Valkyrie Elysium, the new Star Ocean. You have Dealfield Chronicles, right? Live Alive was something that was
It
remade.
was good.
You're gonna have Dragon Quest
Yeah.
3, remake. Yeah, Final Fantasy
We'll see about
16. Yeah,
Final Fantasy 16. I hated Final Fantasy 15.
yeah. Oh, me
So
too.
like
Well, I didn't hate it. I
I
just
did
didn't
not
like
like
it as
it.
much.
I played it for literally like I think an hour and a half, 2 hours because I like literally tried so hard to get into it. I'm like I couldn't. So I'm gonna wait and see how Final Fantasy 16 does
I mean,
because they
it's
said they're never gonna go back to like the old school Final Fantasies.
well, yeah, it's
So
not gonna be turn based, but like if you ever follow like Yoshi P, I mean, he did Final Fantasy 14. Uh,
yeah,
I think I have a lot of faith in him. Final Fantasy 14, if you ever play, especially the story, it's amazing. It's probably the best Final Fantasy 14 to date.
I want to. I've
Um,
never played it, but I want
it's
to.
Oh, it's
the story
definitely good.
itself. Like if they made a single player Final Fantasy 14 game and use that same story, it would be an amazing game. I mean, a lot more people would love it. Even if they allowed you to play the game for free and just do single player content. But like he was really
You
good with doing the story, so I really feel that the Final Fantasy 16 game, story wise at least, is gonna have all the story beats that it needs that Final Fantasy 15 didn't have. And of course, you do
yeah.
have the gameplay, and the battle system designer is from Devil May Cry, and he also did Dragon's Dogma, which are two games that I did enjoy. So I think they're set up for success. So, but we'll see when that comes out next year. Jesse, what have you been playing?
I finished Survive, Digimon Survive. I
Oh yeah.
just finished that last night. 90 hours of my life wasted. Uh,
He said wasted.
uh, don't get me wrong, like it's awesome, but like it started to kind of overdid itself and over welcomed itself way too long. Um, no, my 90-hour experience was mostly, grinding when you can out of the story bits.
Yeah.
But the story halfway through the game, just like Cyber Sleuth, just hits the ground and doesn't want to get picked back up.
Really.
Like, yeah, like it's hard to explain without wanting to spoil it for you guys, and I
Yeah.
don't want to do that even for our listeners because they say, "Hey, look, like go without watching any videos, don't go like looking up endings and stuff like that." But you do get the new game plus option.
Hmm.
Um, the downside about that, trying the new game plus, doesn't allow you to skip the cutscenes. You still gotta play them throughout. Um, but other than that, I started to pick up Pokemon Sun, Sun and Moon.
Really.
Um, yeah, don't ask me why. I don't know. Um, I think it was because I was watching the Pokemon anime like a few days ago, and like the best character in Sun and Moon was on, Guzma. So it's like, all right, man, like this dude's cool, and plus he has one of like the coolest quotes,
Yeah.
like about being like, if you want to see destruction in human form, here I am. It's your boy Guzma. I mean, like that's actually like
It's a dope
that's a,
quote.
that's a quote. You're like, man, this quote came out of a kid's game. But other than that, like I've been playing Dokkan Battle, Dragon Ball Z. It's a phone app. Um, been just doing that from time to time. Like I don't know why we've been in a Dragon Ball Z kick lately at the
Yeah.
house.
Probably because the
So
new
like,
movie just came out.
yeah, the movie came out
Yeah.
Thursday. and that was actually really good. Don't want to spoil that one either.
I still have to watch. I haven't seen it. I know both of y'all seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I think they have a showing tonight and tomorrow, I believe. But usually with Crunchyroll stuff like that, they usually like 2 weeks down the road, they're like, "Oh, hey, look, we'll re-release the movie in theaters for like selected nights," and then I would say definitely worth going to see. Depending on how you like your Dragon Ball, if you want to watch it in Japanese with subs,
Yeah.
or even the English.
I don't like the CGI. Like, I hate the CGI animation. That's the only
Honestly,
thing throwing me
It's
off.
actually really good.
it's
Really?
really good,
Yeah.
and like
I'll
the
say
cool.
the only downside, and I don't want to go into spoiler territory, so but the only downside is you can, Dragon Ball action is supposed to be fast. There's a lot of slower fighting scenes because of the CGI. I'm pretty sure it's because of the CGI. Versus if it
Yeah.
was like
Yeah,
actual like hand drawn, it would have been a little bit easier for them to do. Um,
you see, what they should have done was got Studio Trigger to do like their animation. If you ever seen any of their like movies,
yeah.
like Trigger's fast pace, over the top action, and that would be something that would fit the Dragon Ball universe. Um, but other than that, I started reading the new chapter for Dragon Ball Super. I don't know if you guys have watched or read it yet or
No.
seen anything about it. But Frieza got a new form.
Well,
Oh,
Um,
putting spoilers out there.
color me surprised.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for a month and a half ago in Japan. We just got it translated in English. So
I'm not. I don't even think that's like a spoiler, man. Like,
it's
I'm
not
like,
like
it's like, I'm
it
not
was like
surprised. Frieza's back. Oh no.
it's
You
like
know what I mean?
it's kind of funny. Like I was like looking, scrolling through like Twitter and everything like that, and people have already drawn fan art. So it's like, all right, let me try read this new chapter and kind of see. And then
Right.
like I feel like they did kind of like lamed it out. Like if you look, not trying to spoil it, but spoil it for you guys. His new form is Frieza Black, and it's literally Frieza's final form. Just the white parts are black, and that's about it. You don't miss
Creative.
much. It's really creative.
Yeah.
Um, but it was kind of cool how like they said they had like got his powers and stuff like that. Like I said, I've been on
Yeah.
like that Dragon Ball kick recently.
Yeah.
Like we're just rewatching Dragon Ball. I'm reading it. I'm playing. I'm playing Dokkan now and kind of just chilling. How
See,
are you? How's your week, James? What have you been playing?
Yeah, so man, like you, I've been playing through a lot of things. I actually stopped playing Final Fantasy VII Remake because, like I was mentioning last time, there's just too much filler content at the end, and I'm already in the Shinra Tower, and I'm going through, and I'm just like, oh, do I really have to do this stuff? I just want to go hurry up and fight Genova. Um, so I just kind of like semi gave up there. I then started playing. What did I start playing? Oh, Resident Evil Revelations, because I haven't played it since the 3DS release, and I enjoyed the 3DS release, so I started playing that again on the Steam
okay.
Deck, and I still enjoy the game. Like I think it's a really good game. It's definitely that that step between Resident Evil like 4 and 5 all the way to what we have with Resident Evil 2 Remake. Because when you play it, it feels very familiar to Resident Evil 2 Remake than it does 4 or 5. I would say a lot of the
Yeah,
same mechanics are there. It does get you back into like solving puzzles and stuff like that. So I really do enjoy it. The downside is it does shows us it was a 3DS game, so like every section is brought up in chapters or shown in chapters. So you go through a section, certain things are available while other things are locked to you. You beat that section, you go and do a different chapter. You might switch characters and then go back to the main cast. So it's a little bit of moving back and forth. There's no save points or anything like that. It's after you beat every section that's when you get to save. But other than that, I've been enjoying that. I also was playing Resident Evil 2 Remake for a little bit. I beat Leon's already. I just had to beat Claire's story.
Terrifying.
It is, especially
are
playing,
you?
especially playing on the
Was it
Steam Deck
the
at night with my AirPods on.
Bro.
Like,
was it the A story or the B story for
well, the
Leon?
remake doesn't have the A or B story. They do was it Leon's story, and then Claire's story is just the opposite. So they're already like an A and B story already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm doing Claire's story because I already beat Leon's story on PlayStation. Now I'm playing it on Steam Deck. But yeah, that one's gonna take me a little bit longer to get through because every time I get to play it at night, I'm more afraid of Resident Evil 2 Remake than I am Resident Evil Revelations. And then actually,
Terrifying, dude. I can't even get through it.
well, I was able to beat it no problem. Like
Yeah.
during the day on a big TV, yeah, sure. At night, in the dark.
But you can't play it during the day, bro.
Yeah.
Like you must have like the experience. You know what I mean? It has to be a
true.
dark room, like by yourself, like nobody
Yeah,
home.
That's
Like
like one of those room or games you just lock yourself in
Yeah.
a room, like
Yeah.
dark light, like no light, have a bag of chips with you, and just just
Yeah.
experience
oh
it.
no.
That is true, but some of the other games I'm playing too is Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. Again, I'm going through that. And another game I'm gonna start today. I know it sounds like I'm starting way too many games. Is Metal Gear Solid 5: Phantom Pain. I'm gonna restart it again
Ooh.
for the third time.
How
don't
far
know how
did you
you play
get
so many
before
games.
you? All right. Let's get this out of the air.
Yeah.
If you guys played the game, which mission did you guys stop at?
So on my Xbox playthrough, I stopped at where is it at? The second area. So I know the first area is like Afghanistan. The second area
Afghanistan.
is I don't know
what
where
was
the second
it?
area is. But it's the more foresty area.
The jungle before, like the jungle area before Africa or South Africa.
Yeah,
I believe.
I'm in the jungle area. That's where
Okay.
I'm at. But
Okay.
PlayStation walkthrough, I'm still in Afghanistan, and then I figure with the Steam Deck, I should be able to beat it now. So I'm gonna start it all over again. Yeah. What about you, Mike? Did you ever beat it?
Nah, man. I played like 20 minutes.
20. You didn't like
Oh.
it?
Honestly, like I got like 20 minutes in, and then like I don't know what happened. Honestly, like I had to I think I had to go to work, so like I have this thing where I have to start a game and get past the intro for me to get interested.
Yeah.
So like otherwise I won't start it. So I try to push myself like through it, and then so I started it, and then I think I had to go to work, and then I just never picked it back up.
Oh man.
Like because that was my first Metal Gear Solid.
Oh really?
I've never actually
Oh.
yeah, that was my
Oof.
first one. Like, so I've never actually played any of the other ones, and it's no reason other than I just had other games at the time because I've always wanted to because everyone's like, oh, they're great, and I've always wanted to play them, but I just never got around to it.
Yeah. The story.
Maybe I'll stream that.
Yeah.
We'll see. Like maybe I'll just
Yeah.
stream the games I never played. Like
There you go. Yeah, and not to mention it, we should put that in there. We do have a Twitch account. We'll start streaming soon, and hopefully soon we're actually gonna do the podcast live in the next coming weeks. So please be excited for that.
Yeah.
We will really
Yeah.
appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well, so we can continue. That actually gives us that energy and that support that we need to continue moving
By the
forward
way,
with this.
that was totally unscripted too. Like we didn't
Yeah.
plan that. Like that
No,
just
no.
happened. Like
Like that.
yeah.
What, we just got the Twitch channel started
Yeah.
up like not too long ago, like a few hours ago.
So
Yeah,
so please be excited and stay tuned for that. So now into our main subject that we're here to talk to. Are handhelds more popular than ever? So before we go through and answer that question, I want to give you a short story about what handhelds are to me. So a long time ago, when I was little James, just this big.
Little wee baby James.
Yeah,
Little-
exactly.
a little
Yeah.
lad.
Exactly. I actually was introduced to the handheld in the form of something called the Game Boy. I'm pretty sure some of you have heard about it. It's a nice thing, actually. I don't have one on me, but I have something that does.
Hold
like
on,
that.
I actually have something.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. I was introduced
I just
to
actually
the Game
just
Boy.
started.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
See,
Yeah.
I sure
I
thought-
don't have mine.
I have my Game Boy
actually-
Color downstairs, so I'm
Yeah.
not gonna run downstairs and get it just for this. But believe me, I do have a Game Boy Color.
Yo, check it.
Oh,
I've
there
had this
you
since I was a
go.
kid. Yo, check it. Like, yeah.
I'm the only one not showing my Game Boy. All right, guys. I do have it. I will show you a picture on this after I edit this. I will edit it and show you the picture of mine, but I do have one. But anyways, I was introduced to the Game Boy and the OG Game Boy, right? So not the Game Boy Color. and we had Tetris for it, and I loved it. Like it was an amazing machine when I was away from home. It was a great way to keep me occupied, playing games like Tetris and Super Mario Land. Go into the future there. My dad had bought a TurboGrafx 16, and from there he also got me the Turbo Express. The Turbo Express was basically a portable console, like the Game Boy, but it played the TurboGrafx 16. So
Oh,
at
okay.
that time, that was like the first time I've ever heard of anything like that happening. Like, you mean you can tell me that the little card that I buy to use in my TurboGrafx 16, I can buy, or I can also use in this handheld and play the same exact game, right? Think of like what we're able to do now with the Switch and the Steam Deck. And ever since
Yeah.
then, my love of handhelds have always been there. Uh, you know, I didn't have I didn't get the Game Boy Advance. I actually had the Game Boy Player, but I still loved those type of games. And then eventually, I got the
Game Boy
DS,
Player.
The Game
3DS,
Boy Player.
had the PSP, the Vita, and so forth. And since then, I've had every handheld. And handhelds to me is just, I think there's a lot of games there are on handheld that I love and enjoy. And there's a certain thing about playing that same game you see on the TV but in a handheld that to me makes it more special, right? Like I could
Yeah.
play, Breath of the Wild on the TV, but if I played on Switch mode portable with headphones on, it just feels like a totally different experience versus playing on the TV.
Yeah.
Hence why I got the Steam Deck. I can now play these games that I'm used to tied to on the console on the TV. I can now play them in a portable form factor. But
It's the best.
yeah,
That's
and
the
it's
best.
the best thing. Fast forward to today, and now there's so many different options out there. Right now, we have the Switch, which I think birthed the handheld market anew, right? It's a
Yeah.
hybrid console, but it's still a handheld. In comes Steam Deck, and I know there's other portable gaming machines out there. I'm not going to mention all of those, but some of the ones that I will mention are, and they're coming up, are the Aya Neo. Aya Neo has their own version. They also have the Aya Neo Air coming out. The
Yeah.
Ein Odin is a portable handheld that you can use for emulation. And they also have the Ein Loki that's going to be pretty much like the Steam Deck competitor. Then you have the Analog Pocket, which is basically a Game Boy that allows you to play Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. You can play Game Gear. Oh, which I also had a Game Gear. I forgot to mention that.
Oh,
You can
okay.
play Game Gear games and so forth and other stuff. And then you have the Playdate, which is just a new exclusive like handheld that has like a crank, which is pretty cool. But yeah, do you think handhelds are back, you know, in good form? Because remember, for a while out there, you had a lot of media was saying handhelds are dead. The 3DS was going to be the last handheld. The Vita failed, right? Because
Yeah.
phone games were becoming more popular and things like that. And in comes the Switch, and I think the Switch brings back that popularity. Do you think handhelds are stronger than ever, or do you think we still should be careful?
I think they're killing it right now. Especially like with the Steam Deck. Like the Switch, like I feel like started it. But it's Nintendo, so you don't have like all like the good AAA games, you know what I mean? Like on
Yeah,
Nintendo. Like you have the exclusives which you can play on the go, which is dope, but it's like with the Steam Deck, I feel like and I know there's predecessors to the Steam Deck that like let you play like PC games on the go, but it was just like they weren't as well known or as well supported as the Steam Deck. But I think at this time, like I think that's the future of gaming. Like you get like, 4K gaming on the go. I
yeah,
think that's what everyone's going to lean to,
Yeah.
especially like, we're not kids anymore. You can't spend 12 hours on your couch in front of the TV, playing games. But,
yeah,
like if you're traveling, you know what I mean? Like if you have a break at work, if you're, like on the go all the time, like it's like you can keep up with it now, especially as an adult. They are pricey though. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Steam Deck, the 512 is what, like $600 or something like that, 599.
yeah,
Yeah, 599. That's the one I have still on pre-order.
Yeah, I got mine, and I wish I would have got the middle one, not the high end one. But
Yeah.
but anyway, like all the ones coming out, like two look solid. Like the what is it? What's it called? The Ian Loki or
yeah. The
whatever,
the
however
Iron
you say it.
Loki, yeah,
Ian
The
Loki. Like
the
I
Loki
wish I
looks
would
real
have.
nice.
I wish I would have waited. I would have got that instead of the Steam Deck, honestly, because that seems like a monster. But I think that the future of gaming is like more like handheld. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like with the Switch, like with a dock.
Yeah.
You know, because like with the Steam Deck, you can get a dock and you can still play at 4K. What is it, like 30 or something like that, or
Yeah,
Yeah.
60?
something.
Like, you know, so it's like I think that's like the way everyone's gonna like transition. I'm just waiting for the Xbox one. You know, they're gonna put one out with like Game Pass and everything like that.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
maybe not now, maybe you know 5, 10 years down the road. They're the only ones who haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
But
What about you, Jesse?
I mean, this is coming from a guy like how your story was. Like I remember one summer, like back in 96, 97. I was only like 7 at the time. Like I would spend the like summers over at my grandparents and with my cousins. My aunt like knew that I really wanted to play like a handheld. They had this Sega Game Gear. If you ever seen that, it was like Sega's version of the Game Boy before the Game Boy,
Hmm.
which was actually cool. Um,
Well, it was after
she
the
bought
Game
me.
Boy.
Was it
Yeah.
after the Game Boy? I
Yep.
thought it was before.
No,
Well,
but like I
I
said,
mean,
I owned the
I
Game
was
Gear, so yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it
I
was
was a
after
wee
the Game
baby,
Boy.
okay, and like my aunt legit like went to Kmart and got me a Game Boy with Pokemon Red, like because my cousin had Pokemon Blue, and she got us the link cable, and I just remember all summer long just like outdoors, just playing Pokemon, catching like Pokemon, trading them, everything like that. I think with like these consoles, like
Yeah.
handhelds are the way to go, honestly. Like
hold on,
it's
I'm sorry
just
guys, I'll be right back. Hold on.
Yeah,
yeah,
you're good.
like with the handheld market, it's going to blossom and bloom. They all these competitors saw how popular the Switch was. I mean, if you look on the news now, the Switch is still holding like record-breaking sales for a console, and it's its first time in what Nintendo's life cycle
Yeah.
that they had a hit like this. Like me personally, I was thinking about honestly grabbing the analog pocket because it reminds me of
The
like a
Game
Game Boy
Boy.
Color, like I showed you,
Yeah.
and like playing those games. Now, like I don't think PlayStation would go back into handhelds. They tried, and they said there was a market for them on their end. But I loved the Vita.
Yeah.
Like the Vita was like my favorite console. It was way before its time. Like,
See, I think the issue with PlayStation, what hurt the Vita, was it was too much. It was too gimmicky, right? For the price point, especially they had in the proprietary memory
yeah,
cards, but the other features were a little bit too gimmicky, and I think they should have stuck to like the core gamer. The DS, yeah, it had a cool gimmick with the bottom touchscreen, and I
yeah,
think that did
but
help it out a lot to get more casual people in. But for the most part, I mean, Nintendo's different, right? They're good at making fun games, and Nintendo's like the one
exactly.
company I feel that they can stay afloat with their first party because their first party lineup is amazing. I mean, when you look at if you look at any of the handheld games, right? If you start naming what's your favorite Game Boy Advance games, I bet you 90% of
Oh,
them are Nintendo exclusive or published, right? If
oh
they're
yeah,
you have like the Pokemon
there's
games, the Super Mario Advance games that were amazing, Donkey Kong Country
They need to
Advance,
bring back Golden Sun,
yeah,
man. They need
Golden
to bring
Sun,
back Golden
Metroid,
Sun.
exactly.
Like,
like
yeah.
Golden Sun,
like you
another
had
one.
so many like great hits, and like these companies like even Steam
Yeah,
knew that like, hey, look, like this may be the right market into going to. Like, like they had tried dipping their toes with the controller, the Steam controller,
yeah,
that kind of flunked, but they have something that's hitting, and all these other companies are going down that or like down that path of, hey, look, we could make our version of the Steam Deck, and like, hey, look, like you see, like what I was saying, the analog pocket is the one that I'm looking like at the most recently.
yeah.
Don't you need
Um,
like actual carts to play that though?
that
Or
one, that one's kind of cool because
You,
they do have a option to put the cart into it. Like there's, I believe, like two versions, if I'm not mistaken.
right?
There's the one that you have a cart, or there's one that you can buy a device that you could plug into your computer, and if you have the actual game itself, it will make a copy of the ROM with your save file on there. so you could take it with you, and it's a like a official your official
So
save file.
actually, no,
Oh,
I
okay, I
think you're
got
thinking
you.
of something else.
Is
The
it not the
analog.
analog pocket?
No,
I thought it was.
no, there's something else. I know which one you're talking about, but it's not the analog pocket. With the analog pocket, you do need the actual carts, but
Okay.
now there's a new hack, and I say hack in quotations because a lot of people think it's analog pocket themselves that did it. They just
Yeah.
are not saying it. But there is a new hack that allows you to play ROMs. So for the longest time, if you had an analog pocket, you couldn't play ROMs. Even if you backed them up or anything like that, you couldn't play them
Oh, okay.
on there. You had to have the physical cards inserted at all times, which, understandably, like it can be annoying, right? Let's say you're traveling, you don't want to bring a bunch of cartridges with you, right? Like, when I take
Right.
my
Yeah.
Switch, I have the case and I have a bunch of carts in there, but it's kind of annoying to have to swap out my carts. I would prefer everything digital.
Yeah.
But now with that new hack, you can now hack your analog pocket and go ahead and just sideload your ROMs that way.
Oh, okay.
And then using that, there is a third party tool you can buy that does connect into your computer. You can plug in the cartridge and it'll basically take out the game, and then you can, add it to your analog pocket there. But
And the cool
mhm,
and the cool thing about that, because I was looking into it myself, like if you're like somebody who does a lot of collecting and stuff like that,
yeah,
as soon as you put that cartridge in, it'll tell you if it's actually an official
yep.
cartridge or a bootleg. And if it's a bootleg, it won't allow you to transfer over that data. It'll actually say, "Hey, look, this is a bootleg cartridge." So like with me, I had like or thinking about it, I have a whole bunch of old Pokemon games like Fire Red, Leaf Green, Ruby Sapphire, all the basic Pokemons that I kind of want to get and see if they're actually official raw or like official games or if they're, pirated or bootleg copies of that game.
So, got one question for you all. What is your favorite handheld of all time? Jesse.
Oh, I already told you it's Defeata hands down. Like to me, I it was one of the game like I said earlier, it's one of the handhelds that was before its time. Like it did have some silly gimmicks
Yeah.
where like, oh, you could get the LTE version from Sprint and then Sprint dropped that and then that one became like obsolete. But like if you look at the OLED model, like it was one of the first handhelds on the market with an OLED screen. Like the library of games that you had PlayStation Classic, you had all the Vita titles all into one. Like the touchpad gimmick was way before its time. Like you had that back touchpad that acted like triggers. You had games that like they're never going to get remastered, like the Uncharted game that came out for it. A solid Uncharted game that's no longer going to be a thing. You had all the titles that were just from Japan exclusives, like tons of RPGs that never Nintendo wouldn't touch at the time because they were M-rated or, less than that. You had one of the best Persona games on the Vita, and it was a Vita exclusive forever, Persona 4 Golden. Like you couldn't play that game anywhere else. Like minus now where it's on or coming to everything, but at that time it was just tied to the Vita. Like if you look back and look at that system, honestly, it was miles before the competition. It was way ahead of Nintendo's system. It was basically they just said, "Hey, look, we weren't just getting poor sales, and I wished it lived longer than what it did."
What
Now,
about
Yeah,
Mike,
I loved it.
what about
Mike,
you,
what was
Mike?
your favorite?
Well, so I will say this before I move on to my favorite is like the Vita's a really good runs emulators very good too. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's like it's definitely like a good like emulation machine.
Yeah,
Like so but my favorite, I don't know. Like, I think it would have to be like the game. If I'm using like rose tinted glasses, like to look at the past, it would have to be like a Game Boy Advance. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause I grew up with the Game Boy Advance. I loved it. You know, like all the Super Mario RPG games and like the Golden Sun and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But honestly, like the Steam Deck probably takes it just because it's so versatile. Like I can play all those old school games on this, plus new AAA games on this, and be wherever and play it. Or if I want to play it on a monitor, I can get a dock playing on a monitor. I think the Steam Deck is honestly like the best thing to happen to me since sliced bread. You know what I
Nice.
mean? Because it's like this thing's amazing. Like it's I got the 512 gig. Here it is. Like it's a beast. I love it. Like I think that's like at this time my my favorite handheld. And it was a Switch too. I love the Switch, but it's just I feel like the Switch got dated quick. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to
Yeah.
like graphics and like games. Like there's not a lot of games I can play like on the Switch on the go, but I feel like with the Steam Deck I can almost play any game I want, especially like with emulators and everything like that. I can play whatever I want like on the go.
Yeah.
So it's definitely that,
Exactly.
man. But what about you, James? What's up, dude?
So it's a tough decision. Like I said, I have very fond memories of the TurboGrafx 16. It was, TurboGrafx 16 was amazing. Again, you can use the same cartridge there. It actually had a TV tuner too, so you can watch TV live on there. So it's a portable TV. There's a lot of cool things they had going for it. And like you, I do love the Steam Deck. I agree. You can play pretty much everything on there. Um,
Renaissance
but
machine, man.
yeah, but I mean, going with nostalgia, I don't know. It might be the DS, honestly. With the DS, you can
Okay.
you can play both the Game Boy Advance games and the DS games, and
That's true.
and regardless, of being able to, right, with emulation for DS games and things like that, it's still, in my opinion, it's better to play on the DS itself because the dual screen games, it's a lot easier to just access it with like a touchscreen versus having, you have the main screen on the left side and then on the right side it's just like a small screen
That
and stuff like
small
that.
little, yeah,
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 like a
like
little tiny screen.
like I can't,
yeah.
but you can play a lot of amazing games, right? From Game Boy Advance, you have Final Fantasy 1 and 2, you have Final Fantasy 4, 5, and 6. You have on the DS side, you have Final Fantasy 4 Remake, Final Fantasy 3 Remake on there. You
Yeah.
have all three Golden Suns between Game Boy Advance and the DS. The Pokemon games, right? Um, was it, uh, I'm losing my train of thought. Sapphire, I keep wanting to say Alpha, Ruby and Sapphire, Emerald.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fire Red, Leaf Green, and then you have, of course, Platinum, Diamond and Pearl, Black and White 2, and Soul Silver, Heart Gold. I mean, basically all the mainline generations aside from like the 3DS and above, you had all those available to you on the DS.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna go with the DS. There was a lot of cool things. You had the Resident Evil DS game. I don't know if you remember that, but the original Resident Evil came to DS, and it had co-op. It was the first Resident Evil to have a co-op mode where you can play online or locally with somebody else. That to me was like mind blowing. Like, what, a co-op Resident Evil, and this is pre Resident Evil 5, right? So like this is
Yeah.
not something that you know that was happening. So I think I'm gonna give it to the DS as my favorite handheld out there, and I think numbers say it all as well because the DS is still the top selling handheld that Nintendo has
It
made.
was good. It
Yeah. It
was
was a
good.
good system.
Yeah, a
Too
lot.
bad like all the games are overpriced right now for it.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
I mean maybe that's telling you how much it's worth. That it was a good system that came
yeah,
out for
man. It was
that
good.
price. But
It's
Well, I
back to
think
my Nintendo argument, man.
yeah,
Like
I
they don't
think
want
it,
to like sell their games. Like
hey, I'm a big believer that I think if you are legendary and there's quality there, then I can see, yeah, why do a sale, right? If there's quality, because I
yeah.
do understand that you start doing discounts and things like that, it does diminish quality, right? I mean, I'm that one guy that if a game comes out from like Ubisoft, like, I'll wait for Black Friday because it's gonna be half off. Like, you telling me this comes out a week before Black Friday, I'm gonna wait a week because I know that Assassin's Creed game is gonna be $30 on Black Friday. Like, there's no
Yeah.
point in
same.
buying
Yeah, yeah.
it.
I
Um,
feel like that way about everything though.
yeah.
Like I'm cheap, man.
Uh,
Like,
yeah. No.
Yeah,
With me,
exactly.
it's
yeah.
But like
with me,
when
it's just
it's
buy, buy,
Nintendo
buy.
games, yeah, when Nintendo games, I know it's like, well, I might as well buy it today because it's not gonna be, 10 years from now, it's still gonna be $60. Like,
But that's
Yeah.
but not they're not all quality, man. Like their sports games have gone down. like golf,
Yeah.
tennis. Like they're not the Switch ones aren't as good as like the GameCube ones. You know
No,
what I
I
mean?
agree with
Like
that.
so,
Mario Party
yeah.
too. Like I got the not Super Mario Party, the next one
The
that
new
happened.
one,
Yeah.
like
Seven,
the one that had like the
the one
superstar,
before
I think.
seven.
no, not Mario Kart, Mario Party. Um, the
Mario Party Superstars, I think it
yeah, I think
is.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's the one
Superstars.
with like the
It has
where it's
older
like all the
maps.
maps
Yeah.
and like all the best of the game
Isn't
or like mini
isn't
game.
that isn't that seven?
No,
I thought seven was
No,
like
no, no, no.
I think you're thinking of
I
Mario Kart.
I'm thinking Mario Kart on.
Yeah, Mario
oh,
Party I think ended with Mario Party 6 and then they started doing names like Island Tour and all the other stuff there.
Yeah,
it's
I'm right.
it's a seventh entry.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like
Yeah, it's the seventh entry, but
Yeah.
like
so we're all right.
Yeah.
so we're all right. Like
All right. But that is all the time we have for today. I'd like to thank everyone for being here on the podcast and everybody here joining and watching us on the podcast. Once again, please like and subscribe. We definitely will. And also go ahead and comment. We do want to see comments. We do appreciate any comments. So you go out there. Let us know what would you like to hear us talk about. Again, we'll try to do this once a week and sometimes twice a week. We're going to try to get out as many episodes as we can. And please stay tuned for our live streamings to happen very soon, as well as individual videos that we will be preparing for everyone. Once again, my name is James. This is Jesse. That's Mike.
what's up?
And we'll see you on the next episode of The Random Encounter.